Hey all, welcome to the Fourth Down Syndrome Downcast for today, November 1st. Damon here, King Leo's with you as always. We also have, what is your name? Muff Diver. Zach, how you doing, Zach?
Good, doing good.
Good to hear. And then we got our guest for the week, Skylier, Snatchville Lubricators. How are you, Skylier?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Well, good to hear. We're glad to have you. We're getting through everybody here. I think we just have one other person that we need to get on here two more that listen to it. Devin, I'm hoping he can make it next week. I kind of talked to him about it. So hopefully next week he can be on. But if not, reach out to me about next week. Also, like I've been saying this last couple of weeks, if you subscribe to this, if you want, it will tell us whenever we're recording this, and you can listen live if you want or not. Really don't matter. Go to hell. But I do love you all, kind of. Anyway, sorry guys, rambling on now. So before we get into the review, I wanted to do something that I thought would be kind of fun, and that was just to kind of do a keepers update on how everybody's keepers have done this year. I want to do it in kind of a good, bad, and ugly format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all the good first, and then Skyler and Zach, if you guys want to chime in on anything, feel free. Then we'll move forward to the rest. So as far as all the good keepers that we have, my brother kept Melvin Gordon. He's done great. He's the 5th overall running back this year. Devin kept Todd Gurley. He's done great. He's the number 2 overall running back this year. Zach kept Rob Gronkowski. Granted, he's done a little less than you expect, but he's still done great. He's the number 3 tight end this year. The champ kept Antonio Brown. He's done Antonio Brown. He's number 1 wide receiver this year. Skyler here kept A.J. Green. He started slow, but he's done great. He's the number 4 overall receiver this year. And Meehan, Dick Cheese, kept Le'Veon Bell. And once again, he kind of like A.J. Green had a slow start, but he's number 4 overall running back this year. Any thoughts on that there, Zach? Were you saying something?
No, yeah, Gronk, he has his off weeks, but when he's hot, he's hot.
Yeah, he's fantastic. What about how's AJ Green been treating you, Skyler?
Well, just kind of like you said, really, really slow start, and hopefully here in the back end of the season, he starts picking up a little bit more and starts playing how he was last year.
Yeah, I had him. I have him in another league. Well, I just traded him, I guess, but he's great. There's 2 more guys that I would put in the good category, but that I didn't put there because I feel like they've left the good category, and that's Jordy Nelson and Zeke Elliott. Zeke, because his suspension sounds like it's hitting, so he's going to be gone the next 6 weeks. So you can't be good when you're on the field. So I'd put him. He's kind of in his own category of good to bad. That along with Jordy Nelson, who was crushing it for a while, but with Aaron Rodgers out, he's pretty worthless too. So Jordy right now is number 23 at the position, and Zeke's number 3 at the running back. But like I said, look for both of those guys to kind of plummet and not be very good keepers right now. And then just in the bad category for the year, I would put DeMarco Murray, Billy's keeper, who's number 26 overall at running back, and Julio Jones, Brad's keeper, who's number 21 at receivers. Those guys, while they've done okay, they haven't lived up to what you kept them for, or what you kept them when you kept them. And but I do got to say that I now have DeMarco Murray, which is probably part of why he's been terrible. And I do got to give a little bit of a shout out to Billy for turning a bad keeper into the now number 1 tight end, Zach Ertz. So good job there. Those guys I'd fit in the bad category as well. We'll see what happens. Julio has had a good game recently. And then 2 guys fall in the ugly category. and that's T.Y. Hilton, who's number 31 at the receiver position, and I think's had one big game this year. And then my sweet David Johnson, who, as we all know, is gone for who knows how long, and he's currently 99th at the position. So I don't know, just from this list, it looks like it, for the most part, people have been good. And honestly, the only thing that's caused people to be not so great for the most part is injury. Jordy sucks because of Rodgers' injury. Hilton sucks because of Andrew Luck's injury. David Johnson's injured. DeMarco has been somewhat injured. So anyway, I don't know. Good year. I just thought it'd be cool to get a kind of an update on keepers and the positions. And looks like for the most part, people did a good choice on keepers. But any other thoughts on that, guys? Anything else you want to say about any of that, or should we move on to the review?
Well, Jordy Nelson is a huge disappointment this year.
I mean, if you looked, his first 4 games minus the one that he was injured, he was averaging about 20 points a game. So Jordy was rip roaring to start, but yeah, he kind of tailed off, and now with Rodgers gone, he's borderline worthless. He may even go. Honestly, him and Zeke with Zeke's suspension may both fall into the ugly category for the rest of the year. Because Zeke's out till what would be the fantasy playoffs. So that Lee was rolling, but that may just kind of crush his hopes and dreams. But yeah, so keepers next year will be a lot more interesting since we actually have round rules and different things. So it'll be exciting. But yeah, let's move into the week 8 here. We did have our game of the week, which was Senior Hobo Dick Cheese and Zach here, Muff Divers. That turned into a beating, 125.3 to 86.9. Senior Hobo Dick Cheese takes the cheese, if you will. So Zach's on a 3-game losing streak. I feel your pain.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ugly. You're still in the lead of the division, but Billy's creeping on you pretty quick. And we do have my game against our guest here, Skylier. He took me down 123.1 to 103.6. About what I expected, but hey, at least my team scored some points.
But you did have me sweating there for a little while, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, later we'll find out that I made some pretty stupid moves, or else I could have at least gotten the half win, but I didn't. Notorious Connor Bulge takes out the champ, 109.3 to 104.5. Thankfully, he is the kicker whisperer, and he brought him back Monday night. My brother rolled the number 2 in the league now. Peppers of Justice, 132.7 to 88.7. Now Skyler has the best record in the league after Brad's loss. Billy continued his winning ways, and Chris continued his losing ways. Sunday Morning Boner wins 96.4 over Hammer of Thor to 75.2. And then Lee, in his crushing fashion, back-to-back weeks at the top scorer, wins 168.6 over Bill Tebow Goes Yard, 73.4, in just an absolute beating. But once again, Zeke's gone, so Lee's roll might be slowed a bit. Anything on there, guys, while I look up what I'm trying to do here?
Well, I made a dumbass move this week. In my flex, I put in Smallwood, and you never put up big points with a Smallwood.
You don't. You never do, and proven more so by how you did. What did he get you? Oh, 1.9.
Yeah, and definitely a Smallwood.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty. Excuse me. But yeah, like I said, the high score for the week was Lee once again. And then Skyler, our guest here, still holds the bad beat at 141.5. Once again, hasn't really even been close to that. And then we're going to do the badass and dumbass moves of the week. The badass move of the week goes to Devin, the kicker whisperer, who picked up Harrison Butker and got 21 points Monday night to come back and beat the champ. That was pretty awesome. I was pretty pleased. Bass losing helps. However, in the dumbass move of the week, it goes to myself for knowing that I should never play two tight ends at once, still doing it, and having literally anybody else on my bench would have gotten me the 1 point I would have needed to get the half win. And of three different players. And so instead of doing that, I missed out on it. And so I am the dumbass of the week.
That hurts.
It does.
Well, I think we all kind of had a dumbass of the week, because, you had a small wood, but, fuller, a little fuller could have helped me, almost probably get the highest score almost. So he scored 30 points. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Fuller somehow, some way still gets to like 3 catches a game and scores 2 touchdowns. I'd be scared to play him too, but he keeps performing. It's crazy. All right, Zach.
Well, that's the end of the dumbass and badass moves of the week. We'll move on to our next segment, Studs and Duds, where we ask our guest, out of the players that he's drafted this year, who's been a stud and who's been a dud.
Well, my team has changed quite a bit. I want to kind of say like maybe Odell Beckham has been my dud. With him getting hurt, had high hopes, for him to be playing a little bit longer than he did. And probably my stud, you gotta give it up for Kareem Hunt. He's been killing it. He's been a little slow or not really there these last couple of weeks, but I have a feeling he's going to come back this week against Dallas and actually get back to where he is. So I think those are my two.
Okay, good picks. I've really been impressed with Hunt. Being a rookie, coming out and putting up the numbers he has, it's been really impressive.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, he's been phenomenal. I think those are your studs and duds drafted for sure. I mean, you had a lot of injury. You drafted Dalvin Cook, who was awesome. He went out for the year. You've had a lot of injury. Hogan's out for a few weeks, and your team's still really good. And I did want to speak to it real quick, and then I'll let you jump in if you had something else on your team about the fact that you said your team's changed quite a bit, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why you're at the top, because you don't win your league at the draft. Picking up players, player management, that's so much important, if not more important than the draft. And that's probably why you're still up top. So good job. You're kicking ass. Us losers could learn from you.
Well, thanks. It's been great this year. Coming back from last year. Turning things around, and it's a lot more fun winning, I guess. And would have probably had a little bit better team, but you happened to steal 2 of the guys that I tried to pick up this week. So, fuck you.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm going to fight those waivers until the bitter end, even when I'm officially knocked out of the playoffs in about a week. So, going on to the standings with that, let's do those. So, current week 8 standings, which will be posted with a link to the Downcast. In the Champions division, we have Caitlyn Jenner's Balls at 6-4, the champ WJ69ers at 3.5 and 6, and myself at 2 and 6. In the Fuck Damon division, we have the Peppers of Justice 9.5 and 2, Senior Hobo Dick Cheese 7.5 and 3, and the Notorious Connor Bulge 7.5 and 4. In the Fuck You division, we have Zach still leading at 6.5 and 3, Billy 6 and 4, the Sunday Morning Boner, and Hammer of 5 and 4. And then in the White Power division, like I said before, Snatch Lubricator now a league leading 10 and 2, Had to Tell Her Twice 5.5 and 5, and Tebow Goes Yard 3.5 and 5. Also, quick side note, kind of funny, but the 2 guys that played for the championship last year now, as 8 weeks in, have the 2 worst records in the league. and it's just the sad season continues.
Well, it just goes to show you anything can happen.
Yeah, it does. It's good. I mean, honestly, it's good. It's good that the league, Skyler was the second worst team last year, and my brother was the worst. They're both leading their divisions this year. Skyler's got the best record in the league. My brother, for as much, crap as our shit division gets, he is 6-4, so he's well above 500. Granted, there are still, teams better than him that might not make the playoffs. It is good to see parity and everybody know that, if you just work at it and maybe a little luck's involved too, you can compete. So with that, let's preview week 9. And week 9, what I feel is the game of the week is two teams I don't think have been involved in the game of the week, but it looks like it should be one to monitor, and that's my brother Caitlyn Jenner's balls against Had to Tell Her Twice Lee. They've both been on a roll as of late. They've both scored a lot of points and won a lot of games. So, right now Lee's projected to murder him at 101.3 to 60.3, but he has a few bye week players to switch out. Even then, I'm sure Lee will still be projected to win. But, Lee with Zeke gone's really going to need this game. Because it's not going to be easy for him from here on out. And my brother, I hope he just doesn't switch anybody out and loses. So I'm going to take Lee in this game, but what do you guys got?
Well, Lee's, been the point leader the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to stick with Lee.
Well, your brother's been on quite a little streak going on there, and I'm gonna take him. The two losers from last year. Got to stick together. Help each other out. So I'm gonna go with your brother.
Fair enough. I sure hope he loses. Let's go, Lee. Got to get those losses. Next game, we'll just start going in order now. Next game is myself, King Leo's against the Hammer of Thor. Right now, I'm projected to win 105 to 95.3. I got Deshaun Watson in a great trade, and he's about the only guy that can score. So, we have a pretty good matchup here. I feel like it should be a good game, but at the same time, hopefully Funchess' role increases with Kelvin Benjamin being traded, and hopefully playing 2 Jets doesn't burn me, and I'm going to take myself in this one.
Yeah, I think you're due for a win there.
Yeah, and I'm afraid like Cam Newton's kind of, not going to go anywhere anymore. Playing Atlanta and then you picking up Watson. I think just right there, you're going to have the better chance of winning. So I'm going to go with you too, Damon.
Oh, thanks, guys. That's touching. Warms my beehole to know that people still believe in a guy that's lost 5 straight. So the next game, we have Sunday Morning Boner, who's been on a tear, against Senior Hobo Dick Cheese, who's also been on a tear. This game should be really good as well. Currently, Sunday Morning Boner's projected to win 104.2 to 98.3, and has the great benefit of Le'Veon Bell being on the bye week. So honestly, this game looks really close. They've got great tight end matchups, quarterback matchups. It should be a good game. I could care less who wins because it doesn't help or affect me in any way, but I'll take old Boner Boy Billy to win this one.
Yeah, I need Billy to lose, so fuck him.
Yeah, they all look they both look pretty. If they had one guy just blow it out, could take it for them. So I don't know. We'll go with the Boner. I like Alex Smith and Ertz, so we'll go with Boner.
Yeah, Ertz is awesome. Once again, Billy, my one good draft pick, Billy was able to take for me, and he's been dominant for him. He is the number 1 tight end. next game we'll do is Peppers of Justice against our resident Zach Muffdiver here. Current projection is 107 for the Peppers of Justice to 67. Zach has a third of his team is the Patriots, so he has some switching out still to do. But even so, I don't think he has a chance. So I'm going to go with Brad getting back into the win column this week.
Yeah, it's going to take a small miracle for me to take down the Pepper, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I want you to win too, Zach, just because the farther he goes down, if I lose a game, then, I can keep that first place going on, so I'm praying that you actually do win this one.
Well, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, Zach, you're on my level now. You're just like, as long as the rest of the teams in the division lose, it's fine. You're, so I feel you. Good luck. Next game we have Notorious Bulge against Tebow Goes Yard. Current projections is the biggest spread of the week, I believe, 112.5 to 58.6. Bill also has 3 or more bye weeks on switch outs he needs to do, but I don't know that that's going to cut it either. Connor Bulge got Fournette and Gurley back, who were on bye last week, so he's coming full force, and I just really don't see any prayer for Bill. So I'll take the Bulge.
Yeah, you can't go against the Bulge.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I got the Bulge on this one as well.
All right, yeah, pretty clean sweep. There's a lot of really big lines because people haven't set their players for the bye weeks yet, but you can kind of even then there's some big beatings on the way. And we already did the game of the week, so I'm gonna go on how I'm doing there. And then looks like the last game we got to preview is Skylier here against the champ. Current projected to win 96.5 to 78.3. The champ has Antonio Brown on the bye week, so if there's ever a time to beat his ass, it's this week. So not only will I take Skyler to win, but I'm really banking on a victory from you.
All right. Well, let's do some shit talking.
Well, who do you take, Zach?
Who are the teams again?
Skyler and Bass. The guest and the champ.
The Skyler. Obviously, Bass has really shit the fucking bed this week or this season.
I know he's still better than me.
Yeah, and definitely gonna take myself, but I need to get my kicker, new kicker, and he's got a lot of people on bye. So yeah, I think I have a good chance this week.
Yeah. Quick side note before some shit talk. We do have a trade deadline, and I'll talk about this a little more next week. But we have a trade deadline of November 15th for any trades. And I just want to put this out there that if this week does not go well for me, basically winning and getting the half win and my division all losing, to where I have a prayer to catch them, my team's going to be on a hard fire sell. For any player that helps maybe set me up for next year, because once again we can trade draft picks for next year and different things like that, and keep in mind the way keepers are going. So just keep in mind that the trade deadline in 2 weeks, and that my team may be fully up for sale very soon. So anyway, go ahead, Zach, talk a little shit for us.
Well, just on that note, real fast too.
Yes.
I've got Odell Beckham. I probably won't keep him next year. So if somebody possibly wanted him from next year, send me a message.
All right, yeah, I'm always big on everybody is up for sale for the right price, even if I was actually a good team.
Well, as far as shit talking goes, Brad, I hope you bring your A game, because I'm gonna bring my best game I can put together on the worst bye week possible.
Bipocalypse, some call it. Very good, Zach. Okay, Skyler, go ahead. Lay into whoever you're playing. I forget. Oh, the champ.
The champ, the Mr. Bass. I'm excited that he's got Brown on the bench. Williams on the bench, Rudolph on the bench. I've got a couple people, but yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass this week and hopefully keep my first place winning streak going on.
Yeah, and quick shout out to Bass for his beautiful Laker hater shirt, and that was awesome. But I got Christy Christopherson. He's been terrible. I've been terrible. Hopefully I can win this shit battle and make a move these last 5 weeks to win the shit division. But Chris, you're going down just like I don't know, something really rude. I can't think of it, but just really rude in your face. Just keep that in mind. But that's it. And so I want to say thank you to Skylier for coming on. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Just want a little, shit talk, a little bit more, this weekend, TV, I will actually be in San Francisco watching them play. So
that sounds super fun. Well, we're all jealous of you. But anyway, everybody have a good one. Zach's playing us off. He's done with it. So everybody have a great one. Thank you all, and we'll see you later. Good luck. There's an evil feeling in our brains, but it's nothing new. You know it drives us